So, welcome once more to yet another session of the software testing bootcamp. Last time when we were together, that was last week. Saturday, we left off with a lab session of concerning yeah, box testing. So white box, black box testing, and gray box testing, or testing rather. And yeah, just a quick recap. Let's see. A quick recap on those areas. So in also generally from the SDLC session, so we're able to get our hands. Yeah, I think that was about this part. So yeah, we're able to get our hands on different exercises that was connected to software development life cycle, um, and also discuss the best testing techniques for each of these phases. And we also discussed what SDLC is and went over the different phases. So if you missed any of this, I definitely recommend that you review them to fully understand the different stages of the SDLC. You don't necessarily have to memorize every detail right now, but just focus on understanding the big picture of how testing fits into each of these phases. Now, let's look into, let me see, let's see. So let's look into, because today I wanted to do more of hands-on. Let's take a look. Just a minute. Uh, that's regression. So great. So we're gonna start off with the assignment, and I would like you guys to one after the other share your screen and show us what you got. So, and explain to us your black box testing approach, your white box testing, and your gray box testing, what you put together. So we're going to start, or who would like to start? Or I pick someone. If you like to start first, you raise up your hand, or I'm gonna pick. If no one raises up their hand, I'll pick someone. Who'd like to go first? The first is always the best, I guess. All right, Obi is going first. Obi, so you share your screen and show us what you put together.
Okay, let me find it. Okay. All right. So we're testing calculator. And we're using the black box testing approach for it. Can you guys see my screen?
Nope.
Okay. Let me see. You can see it now, right?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay. All right. So let me just go to the calculator again, so that it's a bit easy for me to show the system. Okay, so this is the calculator that I used. Um, I was only able to do the black box testing approach, and I used decision table testing for this. The decision table testing allowed me to put in a certain number of rules that I can test, and then since the black box testing only requires us to test based on inputs and expected results, I have a couple of inputs and expected and what I'm expecting to see. But this calculator, we're testing it without requirements. So there was no like what we're expecting to see. So what I now have is observation. As you can see here, what I have here is observation. So I did the testing and I just wrote down what I observed or the outcome of my black box testing. So this decision rule table is going to now say some of the things that I tested. So let's go back to the calculator and check. So here I'm testing to see if 7 times 7 is going to give me, of course, 49. As we know, 49 is 7 times 7. So it gives me 49. I'm also testing to see if I press, say, maybe 7 times nothing. I'm not pressing anything now. I'm not going to multiply it by, and I'm just going to go straight to say equal to, and it gives me 49. So in my decision table testing table here, I have rule number one. First number should be a positive integer, and then here we have basic function, which could be multiplication. So the rule number one here I'm testing is I put in here, I add it with an empty. I'm not going to first in anything, and then I'm going to see the I'm going to check the results. So that's just what we did now. A positive integer, maybe say 8, plus my observation. My observation is it multiplies the positive integer by 2. That is what I discovered here. So 8 plus nothing gives me 16. That's how the calculator works. I tried it with other numbers, so maybe 7 plus nothing. I'm not pressing anything. I just go straight to saying equal to, and it gives me 14. So this rule, this is a set of inputs, and this is the outcome. This is the result that I got. And the second rule, I did empty plus a positive integer, and it goes like this. So I'm not, let me clear. So I'm not going to put in any number. I'm just going to go plus a positive integer. A positive integer here, say any number, say 7, let me say 5, and I go straight to equal to, and it gives me 5. So my observation here is that it is equal to the positive integer. And I did the same. I have other rules for multiplication. I have for subtraction, like that, like that. So that's how I did my black box testing for the tech code calculator.
All right. Thank you very much. This is really nice to see. Very, very nice approach. I will give you feedback in a bit. Let's see what the others also did. So we'll move over to, let's see. Constance, do you have anything prepared that you can share with us?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Okay. Chinonso, do you have anything prepared you can share with us?
I also just did for the black box text.
All right. You have something you can share or and explain to us?
Yeah.
All right. Obi, you can stop sharing your screen, and
Oh, okay.
Chinonso, you can share your screen.
Let's
Okay.
stop sharing. Stop presenting.
Um, So although we're not given the requirements for this testing, so I just assumed the requirement to be like the requirement for a basic calculator, which is to add, subtract, multiply, divide, and equal to. And okay, I don't know if I can show my the calculator, um, the calculator he
Should I?
built.
Do you need the link? Should I give you the link?
I have it. I want to share two screens like Obi did, but I think I can only share one at a time.
Oh, okay. No. What happened is you shared the wrong screen. So what you have to do is stop sharing, and then click on the share button again. Just stop sharing. I'll guide you through it.
Okay.
So click on the share button again. Then you look on the top of the tab there. You now see entire screen. On the pop-up, you see entire screen.
Okay. I was just trying to ask him. So let me close some things I have.
Yeah. So if you click on entire screen, you select the screen and you click share.
Okay. Um, so I don't know what's showing now.
We're seeing your screen.
A
We're
lot
seeing the
of things. Okay.
calculator. Yeah. We're seeing your calculator now.
Can, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to open. So I tested if the calculator can do the um basic operations like 2 plus 2, for example. Oh, what happened?
I
Okay.
think it's in a different tab. Yeah.
Yeah. So I tested if we can do the basic operations. So 2 plus 2 is 4. And I tested like edge cases, like what happens when you do things that are outside the ordinary. For example, 6 divided by 0. So I expect that the result will be like error or infinity. So it's infinity. And also, if you can do basic multiplication and chain operations like multiple operations, let's see that. 2 plus 3 times 6. So you can do that. Um, so I also tested for um I think it's those basic black box testing. Check if you could do basic operations. That's all.
Yeah.
I could not do the code testing, the white box testing.
Good. All right. Scroll up a bit. Let me see. So how would Obi use this? How would Obi use this your document to test? Can you tell him what he has to do? Where is your test cases? Where are your test cases?
So this is my test case.
Ex-
The test case is to check if the calculator can do addition and the expected outcome,
exactly.
and do multiplication if it can divide, if it can what happens if you divide the number by 0, what happens if you do a chain operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about what if Obi did 2 plus 3 and it became 6? What happens? What should Obi do then?
Then it should record it as an error or as something that it means that the calculator is not performing as it should.
Okay. So but um what after he finishes testing, what comes out of this test? What is he going to give back after he's done? Maybe he found like some errors, some not, some other places not no error. or no problem, what comes out of this as a product after the testing is complete, whether good or bad? What comes out of it? I'm looking for a phrase.
Mm, can't remember the phrase, but he should report back to the software engineer to tell them the results.
Okay, so just hold that thought. So, guys, can you guys help out? So, um, you guys heard what she said. What comes out of this? After, let's take for example, what comes out of this if I tested it and everything was good? What should still come out of it? What's the product I'm going to bring out? She also hinted it a bit, but I want the real phrase. Okay, so I'll tell you guys. So it's called a test report.
Oh yeah.
So there has to be a report that comes out of your test. So the test report is going to be like, oh, I tested this, and you need to have pass, 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 fail, or pass, 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 pass for everything. Because it's using with that test report, then you'll be like, okay, this is what I tested, and this is the results. You don't the develop the business or the analysis or the rest of the team don't really have to see what the test itself. They don't need to. They don't really need to see the 2 plus 3. They just need to see that test case one failed, test case two passed, test case three passed, test case four passed. You know stuff. Just and that's what you call a test report. You understand? Very good. I'll give you feedback more later. Let's go. Suva, do you have anything prepared that you want to share?
Nothing I can share. I actually did not write it out on Microsoft. I just wrote it out on my book. So sorry.
Okay. Do you want to
And
explain it? Then maybe we can follow. If it's something you can explain, how what
yeah,
process did you take? What
I
did you
also
test?
I did a black box session, and um I just did basic calculations on it, just the same the calculator that was provided, and I also went online and looked for a calculator. So there was a difference between that calculator and calculator I saw online. Um, for the calculator that was built, that was sent to the tech code group, when I'm trying to calculate, the equal sign doesn't show. I know it doesn't show for all calculators, but I felt as a feedback for the programmers, maybe they should add an equal sign to it so user can know when they've clicked on it or not. Because when I was testing, there was a point where I thought I clicked on it, but I did not. So I didn't get the result I was looking for.
So
So
what is the process you took? What did you do? Like you were supposed to black box test. What came out? What did you write? What I expect test case scenario. Did you write your test cases?
so, um no, I did not.
Okay.
I just wrote everything
So
out.
so that's the feedback for you then. So if you're doing
Okay.
like because what you just explained now sounds like you were doing more of analysis and giving feedback, but that was not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do a black box test or a white box test. So what should
Yeah.
come out of that is okay, test cases. I tested the addition, I tested the multiplication, and the like just the way similar to what Obi did or what Chinonso did. Like five, I tested the addition function. I used this test scenario 5 plus 5, 4 plus 4, and everything worked or everything failed. Then you go to another test scenario times, you go to another test scenario because that's then you writing your test cases. Now, let me start. Is there any other thing you want to add so I start giving general feedback? Okay.
No. Sorry. Okay. I did what's it called now? The gray box testing where we went to we used the F12 to check the codes and everything, but I did not really understand what I was looking for.
But at
So
least but at least you tried it
now,
out to try to make sense of it. All
yeah,
right, that's good.
yeah.
That's I think it's always good to just do it and try to see if you can make sense of anything. But that's a good step. Good. Um, so let's start with Obi. Obi, you're gonna share your screen again. Let me give you some constructive feedback, and I hope you guys saw Chinonso's own version, Obi's own version, because those are just very two perspective and very powerful perspective that you guys can like be like, oh wow, like pick really cool things from it and try to make make get the best part of it or the best type of testing. So because it those are very very good examples. So Obi, share your screen
Okay.
so I can give you some feedback.
Okay.
Or you can share the document on WhatsApp and then I can download it and share it on my own screen. Chino, so maybe you can share if you can share yours too on WhatsApp, then that way I can also directly open it and give you feedback after I'm done with Obi.
Okay.
Okay, so Obi, you can hear me, right? So you guys, so everyone, pay attention to the feedback so you can also learn from it and also use it as we continue to go further. So Obi, first of all, I think it's very, very nice that you are using the decision table testing technique. That way you can actually test a lot of things in like, um, yeah, in a much more, how would I put it, modular way, just like we also saw in the training. So very good. I think this is a very nice testing approach. You can put multiple test rules or test scenarios on a line. However, I think the feedback I have for you is I see you just jump straight into edge cases. So I don't see any single happy flow here. Remember what is a happy flow? Sumba, do you remember what a happy flow is? Okay, Sumba is not on a computer right now. Uh, I'll pick Chino. So do you know what a happy flow is? Do you remember?
No, I can't
Okay.
remember.
Obi, do you remember what a happy flow is? Obi's network is gone. Let's wait a bit. All right. So we lost Obi there for a minute. So technically, basically, a happy flow is the normal flow that you expect a user to follow. That's how a user is supposed to use the product. You understand? So technically, if you go, you pick up a computer, I mean, a calculator, what you're going to be doing is addition, subtraction, multiplication. And you're not going to be doing 5 plus 0 most of the time. You're not going to be doing 5 times 8 times 9 times 22 times or minus 3 plus 4. Most of the time, you're going to just have two numbers you want to add, two numbers you want to multiply, two numbers you want to divide, or a number you want to figure out the percentage. That is a happy flow. And so I can see in your examples, you started with happy flows. That's how you actually should start. Because in most cases, that's what people are going to use that software for. Then you now have other people that are going to start going to complex mathematics, which is also what I saw in your case. So, so you now started multiplying three numbers. So that is an edge case, but at least you want to start your test with a happy flow. What is the basic way people are supposed to do it? And if the happy flow is failing, then the edge case is not even that important because the edge case happens rarely. What? Just a minute, guys. So so the happy flow is always the best place to start. So since Obi is not here, no, so did you? I don't think you shared the document. Then maybe you can share your screen so we can give feedback on you.
Let me quickly share the document so you can have access to scroll when you
Yeah.
want.
All right. So let me talk about the things I really like, and I think in a lab like this, it's very nice. So of course, no requirements was given, and it was more of an open exercise. So the first thing, of course, you want to do is you have to create a set of requirements for yourself. So you're gonna play or pretend you're an analyst, like, okay, this is a calculator, this is what I expect, and I think that's pretty much interesting. That's what I see you did here. Um, um, yeah, you kind of like want to define a requirement even before you start testing, like, okay, this is what I'm expecting this software to be able to do. It should have be able to have basic addition, subtraction, multiplications, and all of that. Very important. Don't start testing anything without requirements. Okay, it's very important. Don't just when you're testing anything without requirement, what you're doing is not testing technically. What you're doing is you're just, how would I say, you're just evaluating it. You're just trying to see what it can do. That's what you're just doing. You're just checking. Oh, what will 2 plus 3 give? Oh, it's 5. Oh, it's nice. It's just an evaluation. You're just checking around. You just you're just trying to see how the software works. And you cannot say it's not working well. You cannot say, oh, this thing is not working or that button is not working. You cannot say that because, well, there was no requirement. Do you understand? So you want to always like put forth a requirement because it's based on the requirement that you're going to start testing. So that's very good. I'm very happy you started off with this is what I expect this thing I'm testing to do. So normally this will not come from you. Normally this would come from, the business analyst or some, but in a lab like this, or anytime someone tells you to test something, there must be a requirement. And since in this lab, this particular lab, there's no requirement, you have to set up your own requirement. You have to wear the hat of an analyst and be like, okay, based on the nature of this lab, I don't, someone gave me this calculator to test. So since someone gave me this calculator to test, this is what I want. This is my requirement. This is what should happen, and then you start testing it, because that way you can now say, based on this requirement I set, this test failed or this test passed. So this part, very very good. Please guys, remember this. Then so I also like the tabular structure you used here for your test cases. Very good, very very easy on the eye, very easy to follow, and also know what to expect. However, Um, let me see. What did I? Let me pick up the calculator again. So just give me a minute. Where is it? There. So this is our calculator project. So what I would expect, which you did most of, is you want to test all the basic functions. So we have, I see you tested plus, minus, times, division, uh, technically, you also tested the equal sign, but I would say you have to have a separate test for that is testing if the equal to works. And I also don't see a test for the uh, uh, what do you call it, for the decimal point. So this is your basic functions that this calculator should be able to do, and you should have all of that in your test. That is your happy flow. This part. Part of your happy flow is to test if all the numbers are working if you click it based on, the requirements I probably would have set, which is the numbers should work when you click it. So 0 works, 1 works, 2 works, 3 works. So on that, I would also make it on a tabular form like this and be like, input, if I click on 0, what did 0 work? Did 1 work? Did 2? All of that. You understand? And in testing, you understand, make your test like the basic. You cannot, don't be like, okay, I've tested some and if I start test is too long. No, 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 no. As long as it's part of what a basic function, you have to test it. So don't be like, okay, I've tested this part, then it's okay, it's enough. No, no, don't. You're a tester. Your job is to test as much as possible what, especially functions that the user would do. And guess what? The user will definitely want to click on 0, sometimes 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to test if each of these button works, because it's very possible that 1 to 8 will work, but 9 is not working. But if you did not test that, you will not know, because some of your tests just, maybe if you want to test subtraction, this is enough. This line is enough for testing subtraction. Is enough because this 5 minus 2 will give you 3. And if you test that, it's fine. But you see, you did not test 9. If this was what you were depending on to be like, oh, all the button works, then this whole test will fail. I mean, if the button 9 was not working, then it will all that you didn't test properly. You understand? So you want to have a separate test for just all the numbers, because people. How do I even get rid of this? Okay. So because people would use all of these numbers. So you want to have a test for each of these buttons. So first of all, your happy flow was nice, and then test. I'm testing for 0. Does 0 works? Okay. I'm testing for 1. 1 works. I'm testing for 2. 2 works. I'm testing for 3. That way you got all the buttons. So if for some reason 0 to 8 works and 9 is not working, your test will catch it. Then when you're done with the happy flow, all of that is what I call a happy flow, because that is the basic way users will use this calculator. Then you start going to your edge cases, which is this ones I like. You understand? But try to think of as much edge cases as you think would happen. Do you understand? For example, another edge case is decimals. Let me. People also do some stuff with decimals times 6. So you want to do the decimal. What do I expect to happen? See, 2.6 times 6. Oh, sorry, 2.6 times 6 equal to. Is this what I'm expecting? So you put that also. So you do the decimal for all the stuff, all this part for division, multiplication, subtraction, addition. That's an edge case. This is also an edge case, multiplying three numbers. And what are the edge cases? Yeah, that's probably along those lines. But please always start with your happy flow, because most of the time people don't do edge cases. And edge cases are important to test, but they come when people are really into sophisticated stuff or trying to break up a software. So start with your happy flow. How do people use it? Write tests for that, which I see you did also pretty well. But write as much as possible, because I missed the test for equality button. I missed the test for decimal. I missed the test for 0, 1, 2, all the numbers. I missed the test for that, because that is also part of your happy flow. Um, yeah, I think that's all I can give as a feedback. Obi, you're back. So what I was explaining is, Obi, I missed. I hopefully you heard some of what I said. I missed your happy flow. You only tested edge cases. Always start with your happy flow. The happy flow is how the people will use the calculator. Normally. There may be, if you're an accountant, which in most cases is not all accountants that are using the calculator, then the accountant is the ones that is going to be doing 2 times 1,000 times minus this minus that times decimal. So those are edge cases, or like the one you did, which is 2 plus nothing. It's rare that people will do that. It's rare, except someone that wants to mess up with the calculator. So that happens rarely. Of course, you want to test it, but your happy flow is more important. Test your happy flows, and then you go to your edge cases. Yeah, very important. So generally, everyone, please look at this report. Very, very nice. I hope you pick something from both of them. Very important. These are very good examples that Chinonso and Obina did. Combine what we talked about together and use it and just like fill it in and be like, okay, these are the steps I'm going to take for my next situation. Or I mean, the next test scenario I have to figure out. All right. Are there any questions? All right, so let me show you guys a little bit of course, the black box testing will be difficult. If you wanted to do black box testing, technically what I would have expected you to do is go into this code that OB that Ifeanyi sent, and this is where the white box testing would then happen. So what you probably would do is you could just go in and try to figure out, okay, this what I'll probably do if I were you guys that don't really program, like, okay, where does he try to add, like when you press two numbers, where does that addition happen when you click on plus, where is it? So you just try to see, even though sometimes for non-programmers it's quite hard, but yeah, fonts will not be it. Fonts, we know what fonts are, so fonts will not be that. Let's go back and see what about components. Let's say, okay, look, we have a calculator class here. Okay, let's go in, let's see what's happening here. Just let's try to see if we can understand something. Oh, I'm seeing numbers. Oh, you see, these are the plus, these are the minus, these are the times. I get it. So this, if I understand correctly, um for those of you who have taken some of the programming classes we've done, and some of you are even busy with Python and other things, most of these programming languages are similar, very, very similar. So if you look at this method already, you'll be like, oh, this method is called calculate, and you have to, it says first operand, which is a number, second operand is a number, and then an operator. Oh, okay. So if I give a first number and I give a second number and I give an operand, see the operand now is a switch case. The operand is that a minus, a plus, minus. Oh, then you'd be like, you should now know that if ever I call this class, if I give this, I mean, this method, if I give it two numbers, a first number and a second number, and I give it an operand, which is any of this operand here, plus, minus, times, it should return to me the proper calculation. So if it was a times, it will give me a time. So this already is you white box testing. Of course, you have to now do something physically in the code, but at least you have an idea that, oh, I know, I have an idea what this function should do. If I give this function two numbers and I give it an operand, it should give me the correct answer. You understand? So just try to, you don't have to understand everything, but just try to look at what makes sense to you. So for me, even I've not looked at this code before, but already this makes sense to me. Like calculate. Calculate is a word that stands out. Calculate. Okay. And this calculate he has, of course, this will be only maybe a little bit more understandable for those of you that were in some of the classes we've done. But this is a basic function, but written in a language called TypeScript, which is very similar to JavaScript, which is also very similar to any other programming languages, because as you can see, they use the same ideas of functions and switch. This switch statement appears in almost all languages and all of that. So this would be a way to do your black box testing as a tester. Just try to look into the code. What do you get? What you don't focus on anything you don't understand. Just look at the words. Like, okay, I don't know what this is. Okay, I'm not gonna touch it. So, okay, maybe this looks like a button. Okay, but I don't know what it is. Let me just go to look for what I know. Oh, calculate. I know what the word calculate. Oh my God, you use the word first operand, second operand. Okay, so that's probably the first, second number. That's how you go through it. You understand? Just if you look at this, clear, I don't know what this is. Clear, oh my God, it doesn't make sense. Let's go to the next one. If the first operand is equal to empty, oh, this should do something with checking if the stuff, see, just high level like that. And if you play around with it as a tester like that, before you know, you start be able to read code. All right. What about gray box testing? So I showed you guys the F12 feature. So one thing you want to do, maybe that also has to do with more of learning how this what do you call it, this dev tool works. If you click on the arrow here at the top, yeah, you can actually go to anywhere on your screen and click it, and it will take you directly to that part of the HTML code. So let's try this. So let's say one, we click on one, and you see it just takes us straight to the code of one. You understand? So you could do this just to be like, okay, let me see what is on all of this. So you say, okay, there's all the right numbers are there. So you see as I'm hovering my mouse over it, you can see on the left side certain things are getting highlighted. You be like, okay, so this is how this works. All right. What else? What else happened? You can also click on this console tab and clear it. Let's clear it first. I would say 5 plus 5. If we say equal to, does anything show up here? Okay, nothing shows up here. So okay, we don't see anything there. Um, what about network? If we do something, does anything happen? Uh, okay, nothing happens here, so nothing is actually being sent anywhere. Another interesting place you might want to look at is on the application. So you see, there's a storage system where your browser has like its own memory, like a small local storage, and how you identify it is with the name of the site. If you click on the local storage, you see the name of the site, tech code calculator is there. So if you click on it, we could try to see if it's storing anything locally on the browser. So let's try that again. We're gonna say 5 times 3. Okay, so it's not storing anything. We're not seeing any extra thing. So there's not really anything per se that uh, we can be like, okay, this is what is supposed to happen when something happens underneath this area of the browser or stuff like that. So, but these are very interesting places to look for or look at. You can inspect this area. For example, I just clicked on this. So this is where the numbers are being displayed. See, we have 30 here. So if I say 53, see that it's changing. This is 5, 6. You can be like, okay, I see that. Anytime I press a number, that area gets filled in. That's very good. Like you can also compare this number with the number you're seeing on your screen. That's somewhat of a gray box testing and stuff, just to play around and see what actually happens under the hood. So playing around with that would help. So remember, if you click on the arrow here, and this works for all websites. So if we go to Yahoo, for example, yahoo.com. So if you ever want to if you want to copy this image or find this where this image is, just click on this arrow here. Just come to the image. I'll click on it again because if you click on it, it turns it on. If you click on it, it turns it off. So click on it, turn it on, and if I click on this image, it takes me directly to where the image is. You see, this is highlighted. Then you try to find it. Let me see. Where is the image? I don't even see it. So you can start figuring out like, okay, what is actually going on? Okay, there's a JavaScript. Is it on the what do you call it? On the CSS part. So maybe you can just hover your mouse and be like, okay, what is this? I don't know what this is. This is an image. Is that on the screen? I don't see it. So this tool is accessible for any website or any stuff that runs on the browser. You could also check if the calculator was what you call it is also mobile friendly. That's also another test you could do. And yeah, you see when we mobile test it, you see how the text behaves. Depends on the requirements anyway. Depends on all the requirements you have. So of course, if you want to do the mobile testing, you click on this other icon on the dev tool that has a laptop and a mobile icon and stuff. So that's that. Can play around with that, but I am very happy you guys looked into it and stuff. Do we have any questions so far? And then we take a 5 minutes break, and then we come back, and then we look at the other problem we had with pickaxe. Any questions? Please raise up your hand if you have any questions. Chinonso, go ahead.
So I was looking at the source code for the calculator app, like you showed, but when I click on like a number on the calculator or any of the function on the calculator, it doesn't take me to the part
Okay, so the
of where
code,
it's
this code
in
does
the
not.
code.
This is just more like how just this code does not. What you said can never happen this way. This is more like a. This is called GitHub. Of course, you guys are gonna get more familiar with stuff like this. This is what you call a repo, a repository. This is where if I stored the code that he used to build the calculator, but you cannot run the calculator from here. So for you to run the calculator, you need to download this file. You have to click on download and load it on your computer and then run it. There's a whole different process of running it. So this is just like a USB stick. That's so you it does not link with what's actually live. It's just the same way if I showed you my own source code for Pigax. If you do anything on Pigax, it does not do anything with the source code because the source code is just this is just like a this is just a USB stick, but it's called a repo. And we're gonna look more into it. But yeah, this is just for you. What you can only do is just look through it. And if you really want to run it, you have to download it on your computer and then run it on your local computer. That's when it's going to come to life. But as long as it's on this repo, it doesn't have a life. It's just he just saved it here for you to download if you want to use it on your local computer. So what you can only do from this GitHub directly is just to look through it and all that. If you really want to go into full black box testing, yeah, then you have to download this code to your local machine, and then this is uh, a framework called React. Oh, actually, not Next.js. Next.js and React they are quite similar in some ways. So this is a Next project. So you have to run it in. You have to have certain things installed on your computer to be able to run this project. So if you also Google how to run a Next.js app locally, you see that. So you can just click on this and see the setup you need to do that. Um, there's some extra. This is a little bit complicated, but yeah, I think so. This one you don't have to do this, for example, because that's what you're going to download from this um, from the repo. But you see, this is what you need. You need to download this software called Node.js, and you need to download this software called npm. Once you have these two on your computer, then you can download this code and then run it on your computer. And how do you run it? There's a code for running it. You see, you just say npm and then the name of the software. So I think it would be no, sorry, you can just do npm run dev, and it will start working as long as you have these two stuff installed on your computer. So, but on this repo, it doesn't have life. It cannot do anything. Does that does that have any? Okay, does that answer your question? Does anybody
Okay.
have another question? So if I remember, if I say a term or a word you guys don't understand or never heard before, be sure to ask. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna take a 5 minutes break, and I will see you guys in, let's say, 10:35. All right. 10:35. See you guys. Okay. So welcome back from the short break. So, like I promised you guys, I'm going to try to bring this whole testing thing to life. I want you guys to have hands-on experience to also see how things go in the real world. And like I said, I have a company, a software called Pigax. I have been working with Obi on this project for quite some time, and Obi is going to be acting as an analyst for this project. But before so this is what I would like us to do. So Obi is going to give all of you or the whole team a quick overview of what the software is about, and then he's going to explain the issue to you guys. Then would you guys are all gonna put the mindset now that you guys are testers. Just put it in your head, and you're part of a team. Obi is the analyst. I'm playing also an analyst or I'm part of the business. I'm also a developer. So if you have a question for the developer, you ask me or you just take it. This is a team meeting, huh? So you have some questions for Obi. You probably have some questions for me. Oh, is this possible? Is that possible? This is typically how these meetings happen. A problem comes in, you sit down together and you try to figure out what is the context, what is the issue, what is the expected result. So first of all, we're going to start with OB trying to explain what the whole context is about the software, what is the problem, what is the expected result. And remember, put on your tester hat. Make sure you understand the requirements. Make sure you understand what needs to happen. Make sure you understand what the software is supposed to do and ask questions where needed so that you would be able, because at the end of this, the expected stuff that will happen is I want you guys to write out test cases for this particular feature. And also with the test cases, we'll also test this software when it has been resolved, right? That's one. Um, so I will give the floor to Obi. Obi, you're gonna share your screen now and try to give an analysis of what's going on here. Um, uh, Obi, one more thing. If you want to post this, should I share this image with you? If you want to post this image, you see, I hid the people's identity. If you can do that, fine. If you cannot do that, I'll just share this on the WhatsApp for you now. Or let me just share it anyway. So that way you do not expose people's private information. We don't want to do that because, like I said, this is a real world problem. This came into our support to solve this issue. So I just shared it on the WhatsApp. Obi, you can take it away.
Okay, morning everybody. It's quite unfortunate for me this morning. I'm kind of experiencing some serious network glitch. My network is sharp. It's just that I'm finding it difficult to connect my computer to my Wi-Fi. That's the challenge, and it's a really serious one. Started immediately we started the class. I think that's when the whole thing I discovered it. So I'm currently connected with my phone, and I cannot share my computer screen where I have most of the
Okay, Obi,
um,
um,
explanations,
I
and
can do
also
that
to
for
share
you.
my
You
screen
just
for
have
the
to tell me what
software
to
and all
do.
that.
All right. So I
Yeah.
will share my screen. If you want me
Good.
to go to a
Okay.
certain screen, you tell me. If you want me to highlight something or use my mouse to point at
Yeah.
something, you tell me. I will do that for you.
Okay. Now that is better. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start with an overview of pickaxe, what it does, and how we are going to use it to solve the issue that we have from a user. First of all, we know that Pickaxe is a piggery farm manager software that helps farmers to manage their farms effectively. Yeah, so pig farmers use this software to be able to track pigs, to understand, track health conditions of the animals, know how to track their feeding, program feeding schedules, and the entire farm can work on this software. So we can say that Pig is like a virtual assistant for a typical pig farm. So that being said, we now want to make progress to one of the very important aspects of piggery management, which is pig identification. So in a typical pig farm, you can have up to 1,000 pigs, 2,000 pigs, and all these pigs are numbered. They have a unique ID. Each of these pigs' ID is different from the other. So you cannot find a pig that has, you cannot find two pigs with the same ID. Yes, that's how these farmers can identify these pigs, each pig. And then they use that ID to track the pig's health, and they track the pig's feeding, and also track the pig's cost, yes, for each individual pig. Now that we call a numbering system or an ID system for pigs. I will have showed an image, but I think it will be good with just an explanation.
Am I supposed to click something, Obi?
All right. So the question is, how do the farmers get
Obi,
to
am I supposed to
number
have clicked
up to
something?
like
Because they're
1,000
still saying the
pigs,
home page.
2,000 pigs in their farm?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. No, not yet. Yeah, so, okay. First of all, do you have a farm that you can one of those your testing accounts you can just log into?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have
Yep.
sows? Okay. So we use this one. All right. So the question: how do farmers get to number up to 1,000 pigs in the farm? Well, they do this through a process called they can register the pigs individually. Of course, yes, they can do that. When new pigs come into the farm, they register it individually. But of course, we know this can be very stressful. And there is another way that pigs come into the farm, a very popular way, which is through bets, through farrowing,
Uh, Obi,
as we
sorry.
call it
Let me
in
let
piggery
me
business,
correct
farrowing.
something
So
you
when a
said.
pig gives birth,
Especially when I read the report you gave. So the if you go to view or if you click on add, the part where the user was talking about that needs to be automatically filled in is the liter
yeah,
number here, not actually the tag number. So
okay,
the guy is saying when I fill it in there and it gets added, I want to be able to see it
yes,
in
yes, sure,
here or in in here. It is needs to fill in.
yeah.
So that's just by the way. So all right. So yeah, I just edited this so
Okay, so where are you now?
as a
This is
sample pig.
adding of new pig, right?
Okay,
Okay, that's a so. Okay, yeah. So go
not
back
this
to
one
that
or the
page
other
where
one.
you are now.
So
No,
okay,
that
so I should try to
registration
add
of
a
new
pig.
pig.
This is
Like
me
you're like
editing
I
a
think you
pig.
wanted to add a pig or said.
Okay,
Yes, yeah, it's the same thing actually. I was going to come to this, so I want this page to be open.
done.
Although this is not the screenshot we got from the user, right?
No,
I'm sorry, it's a screenshot. This is not where the issue is from the user. Okay. So there are two ways we can add pigs into the farm, and one of it is this by this way. We add the pig manually. So here we can add one pig,
yep,
put in all the details, and then we have a pig set and registered with an ID on the farm. Yes, but then there is another way that is a popular way whereby when a pig gives birth, a sow, the process of registering that birth, farmers can register all the piglets at once. And pigs can give birth up to 12, 14, 8, depending on how good the sow is. So on that spot, a farmer can register up to 12 piglets instantly by just putting in the details. And that we are going to see shortly. So we're now going to see how that works. So please go to the pig manager. First of all, let's see the pigs that are there. So we're going
we
to
have
see all the pigs
I
that are
have
in
only
this
one
farm
here.
right now.
Yeah,
All pigs.
and maybe you also explain what a sow is because that's
Okay, just one pig is in this
a
farm.
farm term. So yeah,
Okay, yeah. So that pig you have is a sow, right? Okay, that's okay. All right. So a sow is a female pig that has given birth before, and a gilt is a female. Is like a female pig that has is ready for mating but has not foaled or has not given birth. So a sow that we have here has given birth before and has piglets and also can give birth to more piglets when it's being crossed or when it mates
yeah,
again.
yeah,
So what we have here is a sow, I
yeah.
think, maybe, or a gilt,
Let me
I don't
just
know, but
add something
this
else
pig
to
can
what you
get
just said.
pregnant
So if you
and
go
then
on
foul.
if you go on our dashboard, for
So
example, you see some of these names here. You see piglet, A piglet is, of
Okay.
course, a little pig. A weaner is a piglet that is probably like between 3 months and above, or yeah. Okay, sorry. A weaner is a piglet that has stopped breastfeeding. I'm correct, right? Yeah. Yeah, a winner. So it doesn't matter as long as that piglet has stopped
Winner. Yeah,
breastfeeding.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
called a
yeah. Sure.
winner.
That's it.
A grower is a piglet that is no longer a winner, but I think from 3 months upwards, like getting into the phase of getting mature and ready for sales or butcher. A finisher is a pig that is ready to either be sold or to be butchered.
Yeah.
So it's ready for production. A gilt or a sow is what Obi explained. A gilt has never had a baby before. A sow has had baby before. A boa is a male piglet. Sorry, is a male pig. So these names you also find them here. Now on this pig manager, the only type of pigs that can get pregnant are gilts and sows. Yeah, you understand. So what I do have here is a sow at the moment. And how do you know if it's a soul? If you edit it, if you go to the edit or you go to the view, so you see it's actually a female. So if it's a female piglet, cool. If you also go here, you see, do I have the sex? Um, oh, that's interesting. I don't have the sex here. But however, it becomes a guilt, of course, when it's no longer a winner, when it's mature enough to have a baby. All right, go ahead, Obi.
Okay. So now that we're familiar with different kinds of pigs, we now want to see um, how pigs are being added to the farm through farrowing. And yes, once pigs are added to the farm through farrowing, Pighouse has a system to give pigs a unique ID. That feature is built into Pighouse right now. So once those pigs are registered as being farrowed or at birth, Pighouse will automatically give an ID to each of those pigs. Yes, to give an ID to each of those pigs. And to see that, let's go to events and then pregnancy monitor. Events and pregnancy monitor. So we're only just focusing on the aspect of PIGAX that we need to focus on to solve this problem. There are other aspects, and it's going to take a long time to understand this software. So we're focusing on
I, I I'm I'm going to create
the
one.
pregnant
So
pig. So do you have any
so
pig
I have,
pregnant,
you see,
or
so when
maybe
I
you're just
went
going
on
to
this
register it
link, I was
pregnant?
able to select that female pig. You see here.
Okay,
Um, we're going to put, so it takes about 3 months for a pig to deliver. So if
okay,
I put a
yeah.
date in August, so August 15th. So
All right, so put August
so
15. You
the
can put
system
August
also
15.
calculates when the pig is supposed to
I will
give birth.
be
You can see
delivering
that when I
today.
selected that, you see delivery date should be at this time. Uh, you can say, is it, how did it get pregnant? Is it through mating or insemination? You can just pick one. What is the breed of the male? Um, is it a full breed? The tag number. I'll just put the boa's tag number. So this is a unique identifier for the boa. So sometimes, if it's a boa in your farm, you probably have this number, or sometimes if you rented the boa, you can just give it a number that you can use to identify it later. And we can give it the same name. And this part we can leave empty. So if I click on submit, so Obi, you can take it off.
Okay,
So okay, then
so
to get to that
you're going
point,
to
I will
confirm
explain.
and get
So
to the
now
point
that I
where it
registered
says
the
farrowing.
pregnancy, so a lot of times pigs can get pregnant, but it doesn't mean that you might think they are pregnant, but they're not really pregnant. So when after you cross them, you also, our system also makes it possible that you still have to come back and confirm that they are pregnant. So that's why you see here it says waiting to confirm pregnancy. So now that I've created that record, it's now waiting. Okay, are you sure it's pregnant? So this happens maybe after a week or two. You look at the pig and you're like, oh, it's really pregnant. Then you come here and you click on confirm pregnancy. Then you have to put the dates that you figured out that, oh, it was really pregnant. So let's go say I figured out it was really pregnant on the 30th, for example. And Was it successful? Yes. Or if it's unsuccessful, if you click on unsuccessful, the whole process stops. But I'm going to say it's successful, and I'll say I've confirmed it. Then you see it now says that the next step is for you to expect or wait for it to deliver. So this is the part where Obi is waiting for, right?
Exactly. Thank you very much. So this is the point where we're looking at now. So this is the fowl registration form. It's now asking, were any piglets born alive? So we have, let's just say we have, for the purpose of this experiment, we have 5 piglets. So you're going to click on yes. All right, so this is the file registration form. On this file registration form, this is where you get to register the births of those new pigs that are coming into the farm. Here you have, here you can input the number of females, you can input the number of males. You can also say if there were any complications, say maybe stillborns, any piglet with defects, so on and so forth like that. Yeah. So what this page does, what this form does is that the moment you fill in this information, maybe say you put 2 and 3 and you click on submit, there's going to be like 5, 8, no matter the number of pigs you put in here, it's going to appear on your dashboard as new piglets. And those piglets have their own unique ID. This system does that. Pigax does that for the farmer. So we're going to
Okay,
test
so
that.
I'll
So
start with the
Vanity, you're going
actual
to put
fire
in
date.
number of
So
pigs you
the
want,
system
and then
tells
you're
you
going to
when
click the
it expects to deliver, but
button.
sometimes it could be 1 or 2 days early or 1 or 2 days later. So we want you to register when was the actual delivery. So I'm gonna say, okay, fine, it was actually the 7th. Then this liter number is important. This is the liter number we're going to discuss later. So I'm gonna put a liter number, say LL, maybe based on my farm, the liter, my naming type of liter is I start with an LL. Depends on how the farmer wants it, but I'll just say call it LL 4321. So this particular batch of pigs will be connected to this liter ID or liter number. So
Yeah.
Obi said we should add 5. So we say 2 males and 3 females were born. We're gonna leave the stillborns. All the pigs are healthy. To also add to what Obi is mentioning, as long as this checkbox is checked, then it adds your
Yes.
piglets for you automatically. If you don't check it, it should not add your piglets for you automatically. So we're gonna leave it checked, and you see it's also well described here. It says automatically add surviving piglets to pig records. Uh, and it also tells you that if out of these 5 you selected that 2 was mummified and 1 was stillborn, it's going to subtract 3 from this 5. That means when it registers this pig, it's going to say, okay, it's going to register only 2 because 1 died and in fact 3 died. You understand? So let's just have that in mind. So for now, I'm going to leave it at 0. And yeah, should I click on confirmed? Should I click on confirmed, Dobby? Yeah, so let's remember this
Yes.
later
So you click
number.
on
So I'm gonna
confirm now.
copy it and save it somewhere.
Confirm
Or better yet,
filing.
let me make a screenshot so we know what to expect.
Okay.
Open.
Yeah.
All right. So confirm.
Okay. So now let's go to you go to your all pigs to check if the pigs were added. So say we have here the new pigs that have been registered in the farm. So one thing you need to observe is the process by which these pigs were added. Just in one form, you have 5 pigs automatically added in the farm with unique IDs. None of these pigs have the same IDs. So the process is convenient for farmers. They can just add, if the pig gives birth to say 12, we are going to see 12 new pigs on the list. And if you go to your dashboard, you're going to see new piglets. So let's see that. So we now have 5 new piglets in the farm. So usually this is the first thing you see when you come to when you open your account. So we have 5 new piglets, and all of them have unique IDs. Now we understand how these pigs get their IDs very easily and conveniently for the farmer. Now I want to talk about the problem. What was the problem that the user experienced? So according to the message we got, the user is saying that he wrote down a liter number, just like how we saw Darlington put down the liter number. But then the program ignores my liter number and automatically gives the liter the number of the sow. So let's check that first before we continue. So we're going to go to the pigs that were added in all pigs. So now we're going to check the numbers of these pigs. Yeah, so no, you go back a little bit, you're going to see the numbers just on the all pigs. So let's check the number. That's the tag
Oh,
number, right?
what do you want
Yes.
me to click? Yeah.
All right, so we're looking at the number right now. I'm sure all of you can see the number. If you can't, you can maybe zoom or something. So this user wants to have his own unique ID. Like I said, PIGAX give farmers they do the dumping for the farmers, but obviously this user doesn't like this ID. He wants to be able to influence it, and one way he can influence it is using the liter number. So he imputed the liter number just like how Darlington imputed that liter number earlier on. That LL, right? Yes, that's what you put in. But as we can see, we cannot see anything LL on the tag here. It does not reflect on the tag of any of the pigs. That farmer wants to have the liter number reflecting on each of these pigs' ID. Maybe that SS should become LL. Now, he's saying that the it's taking the pig's ID is taking the ID of the sow,
Yeah.
and
The
from the
sales
way I
number is
see, I
SS.
think that the
That's
sow's
what you
number
see
is
here
also
in the
maybe
beginning.
SS something,
And then
if
this
I'm
is
not
then
mistaken.
the generated number. So if you also look at it, F
Yes.
means female, so that's also indicated in the naming. M means male, and then this other number is just unique. Then it attaches the mother's number to the front of this part. Yeah,
Thank you very much. So this is the system that PIGAX use. It has been working effectively. No farmer has ever complained. I think they've been using it and just easy smoothie. But now this farmer wants something different. So the issue I'm getting here is not necessarily a bug per se, but say maybe the farmer is requesting for a new feature that we don't have yet. An opportunity for us to maybe add a new feature that's going to upgrade our system. So this farmer wants to have the liter ID reflecting in the tag number of each of the pigs, and he wants it to happen at a go. So when he puts in that liter number, please,
okay.
can you go back to that following page? Is it possible? Maybe the one you screenshotted, please. Yes, the one you screenshotted. You screenshotted. Yes, so this is it. So as we see on this liter, on this file page, file form, there is a liter ID that was provided by the user here that says LL4321. And this user expects that this liter ID will reflect in the ID of the entire pigs that is registered on this form. But that is not the case. So what does this mean for the farmer? What does he then have to do if he still wants to make sure he changes this? He then have to
Yeah,
go to
I'm
all
already on all
pigs.
pics. Yeah.
So go to all pigs, please. Yes, so here the farmer then has to go each one by one and edit all the pigs to make sure that it aligns to what he wants. Yeah, so here this is where he can do it. He clicks on edit and then tag number, he changes it. There's litter number, there is everything here. So he has to do it for all the individual pigs that was born in that litter. And that is exactly what that user is complaining. And we can confirm this if we go to back to the reports, yeah, the message. So he's saying that I've been having to manually change every litter number and the number of the individual piglets that don't follow their mother's number. So this is an issue, and of course, it's very tiring. We want to make the farmers' experience more friendly, more convenient, so that they will be able to feel comfortable using our software. And that is the issue we're
Okay,
having right
thank
now.
you, Obi.
So this litter
Now,
number is where
thank you,
we're
Obi, for
having that
that
problem.
explanation. Before the question starts launching, if you have any questions, um, another thing that was also an issue that I also figured out when I was doing the evaluation of the problem was, as you can see, let me get that screenshot again. As you can see, a liter number was being given here for each of those sows, and if I mean each of the piglets, and you see that when the piglets were added, none of them carried that liter number. You see, the liter number is empty. So this was also automatically supposed to be added. The liter number is empty. So that is an issue because the liter number
Yeah,
was registered in the pregnancy during the delivery, but the piglets did not carry that number. So this is a bug. This particular one is a bug. It's not working as it should. That's one. Another problem is also that if we go back to the pregnancy registration on the events and we open, so we see here we've had the faro complete and we try to view it, we also see that the liter number that we registered is gone. So let's pull it up again. Let me bring the screenshot back up. Look at this is the liter number we registered. Every other data is correct. 2323 dates is there, everything is there, except our liter number. So that means that our system did not save our liter number. That is also a bug. So so
yeah,
now um so let's deal with this issue first. I think in view of time, let's deal with this issue. So let the questions start coming in, and then we will start putting things together. Are there any questions? Did anyone raise up their hand? I thought I saw. Okay. Sumbo has a question hand hands up. All right.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm taking us back or if this was mentioned when Obi was talking about it because I was kind of busy. When you register that the pig has had the piglets and you confirm, do you is it after you confirm how many piglets it has, then the litter number should
Yes.
be
Yes,
automatically
actually,
imputed
because you
with
would
the
not
number of
see this
piglets? Is that the case?
form only
Is that
when you
what should
try
happen?
to uh, register the firing process. So on all the other process, the only time you see this is when you are trying to say, okay, yes, the delivery just happened. So your answer is correct, or what you're asking is the latter is correct. You only get to fill in the liter ID when the piglet has given birth.
Sorry. Also, are you the one that fills the litter ID
So
yourself,
the
or you just
farmer has to fill it
automatically get a
himself.
number
So when this
from the
pig gave
computer,
birth,
or do you have to fill it in
then
yourself?
you come in here and you say, remember, I don't know if you still remember what the liter ID, what the purpose of the liter ID is. Um, so uh, it's just like, let me use an example. So the liter ID works as the same way we talk about ourselves in terms of generation. So sometimes we ask question, are you a 90s kid? Are you an 80s kid? Are you a 2002 kid? Are you a Gen Z? Are you a millennial? Whenever I say, are you a Gen Z, your brain just groups all the children that were born from 2000 upwards. If I say, are you an 80s kid, your brain just group all the kids that were born in the 80s. Are you a 90s kid? All the kids that are born in the 90s. That way, you can you can easily identify a set. So it's the same idea with litter ID. So pigs normally give birth to a lot, some ranging from 3 to sometimes even 23 piglets. There are pigs that give birth to 23, and you want to be able to be like, okay, this pig belongs to this set. You understand, this litter ID, and we use that, we use IDs for that. So that way, even if the pig is moved to a different farm and the registration of his pig litter ID is there, you can easily spot his brothers and sisters because they were born on the same day. So that's the whole idea of a litter ID, is just to group, to be like, okay, this batch are all together. That means this one is this one's brother, this one is this one's sister, this one is this. And that also helps to prevent interbreeding, you understand, amongst other things. So I don't know if I'm getting out of point. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Yes.
So this litter
Yes.
ID is supposed to be an ID for
Of is
all
a,
the
oh
pigs that were
yeah, another way you
born,
can look at it is
both the
like a
male and the
batch ID.
female,
This is a batch.
right?
A set of eight
Okay.
piglets belong to the same batch. But in the pig farms they call it litter. Yeah. So in other terms you say batch. Batch A, batch B. This is litter A, litter B. All right. Any other question? Obi? Oh, Chino, so sorry.
Chinonso's hands are home.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, when Obi started presenting, he mentioned that every pig should also have a unique ID. So I'm guessing since it's the litter ID is an ID that groups the same
Very
or
good
similar
question. So
pigs that were born in the
um
same period.
so let me make
That
that
that is
part
not the
clear. So
unique
the
ID.
litter ID and the pig ID are not the same. They also do two different things. Now the the pig ID, probably we didn't we're not Obi was not using the exact term as you see here. It's actually the tag number. So you see a lot of times pigs they put like a white thing on their ear, or even cows you see they put like a yellow tag. That's how they identify those pigs, and each of those tags have a unique number. So that number is what you put here. That's what OB is referring to as the pig ID. But actually on our system it's called the tag ID. You get it? The tag ID identifies each pig. So if you have 500,000 pigs in your farm, each of those 500,000 will have different tag number. So if I say pig 110, there's only one pig 110 in your farm. Just the same way we have ID cards, nobody in Netherlands have the same ID card number because there's only one of you. So it's the same way the pig ID Obi was referring to, that is the tag number. However, the liter number is a number to identify a batch. So that means 5 or 10 piglets or 20 piglets can have the same liter number because they were born in the same day by the same mother. So that's very important. Huh? It doesn't mean that they are born the same day. It's not only the day that is important. It's they are born by the same mother by on the same day. Or yeah, just by let me just remove that date part. That date part is confusing. They are born by the same mother at the same time. So for example, if a piglet gives birth to a litter of 10 in January and give birth to another litter of 10 in December, those two are not going to have the same litter number because they came at two different batches. So a litter number is the mother gave birth to a set at that same time. If the mother gives birth to another set at another time after 3 months, then that's a different litter number. So it identifies a group that were born on the same day, on the same time. Does that answer your question? By the same mother, exactly. Thank you for that addition.
Okay, on
Very
the same
important. You
day
cannot
at the
exempt
same
that.
time by the same mother, or
Obi, is this you have a question for me or okay?
No, it's explained very well. Yeah, that's the difference between the
Okay.
liter ID.
So
Sorry, yeah,
so
liter
great.
ID and
So
the tag
now,
number of each
does
field.
that is there any other question? Because what I want us to do now
Yeah, it's
is
clear.
we are going to write the requirements, and while I'm writing this requirement, you guys will then ask. You see, what we're doing now is exactly how it happens in in wherever you guys are gonna work. It's gonna present the problem, give you an overview. If you start working in a new company now, this is exactly what's gonna happen. If it's not even gonna happen, some companies don't have a good onboarding system. You as the tester have to go and look for the analyst and say, please explain this system to me. How does this work? How is this feature supposed to work? Don't be like, I don't want to act like I don't know anything, or I don't want to act like I'm not smart. Don't do that. When you get into a company, especially when there's something, a problem, a bug, a new feature, you go to your analyst and say, guy, explain this software for me. Look, I click what is supposed to happen on this page. You understand? There are no stupid questions because you're a tester. You want to understand the flow. You want to understand what should happen when I click this, where should this data be displayed, blah 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 blah. Now, are you supposed to understand everything on the same day that it gets explained? No, but if you don't understand it tomorrow, you come back to your analyst and you ask. Do not be under the assumption that if you ask, you look stupid. That will make you become a very, very bad tester. Because the more you understand the software, the better test cases you can write. Now, let me. So, two things happened here. So, Obi is mentioning that we have a new feature. Because actually, if we go back to this page, so when this liter gets added, the user is saying that, listen, I want to have this liter number attached to the ID of my piglets, of the liters that gets given birth to. And right now, that's not doing that. So I want that. So this is a new feature. So the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to write a requirement as an analyst, also working as an analyst or the business, which I am as well, of this product. So let me pull up uh, uh, a test pad. Just give me a minute. And we're going to work down the. And in this requirement, if you don't understand something, to get stuff clear, you ask your questions. Do you understand? You ask. Don't for 1 minute think, oh, if I ask this question, it shows I'm not smart. Don't try that. It will make you a bad tester because you're going to be testing things that you have no business testing, or you don't even understand what you need to test. So when you don't understand something, when you don't understand the flow, when you don't understand what the like somebody's asking, okay, when does this liter number gets registered? Is it before? Is it after? All those things are important for you to know because that tells you the flow. So good. So requirements. So one of the requirements I would want to, as a bit as the business, is one, I'll say when a pregnancy, uh, sorry, when a pharaoh is being registered, uh, and the user selects to automatically add piglets, one, create an option to allow the user to either use the liter to either add the liter ID to the tag number of the piglets, or use the mother's. name as so to either add the liter number to the tag number of the piglet or use the mother's tag number as a prefix. Okay, so this is kind of like not so clear maybe if you read it. So if this happens, examples are important. So I'm just gonna write an example. So this is an example of if user selects use liter ID as prefix. So it will look something like this. So liter, so it will start maybe liter number, lead, say something like liter number, and then dash uh, uh, unique ID for piglet. Then this is also another example for if the user selects parent ID, parent tag, oh sorry, not parent, let's just say mother tag number as prefix. So it will now become mother tag number. So now look at, let me try to explain this requirement again. Now, see again, in the business meeting, you're going to have ask your question clearly if the analyst is not clear. So what does the analyst want? When we come to this page, I need another function here, maybe another a radio button. The radio button is going to, I'm going to put it under here probably. The radio button is going to have two options. The first one will be use, to say use liter ID as prefix. I'm going to put it here, use liter ID as prefix. If the user selects that, then the, let me go back to the overview. If the user selects that, then the piglet tag number should then start with the liter number. So the liter number dash the rest of the name, which you have here. So you see liter number, rest of the name. So that means if you wanted to test this, when you add a new piglet, you will come to this page to see if this prefix here is the same thing as the liter number that was given. So that's if the user selects liter number. Then if the person selects mother's tag number, then it should be exactly how it is, which is it takes the mother's tag number. Remember, this is a tag number. Look at the mother's tag number is down here, and it adds it to the front of the number and then the rest of the unique number. So that's what you also see here as an example. So mother's tag number dash the rest of the number. Now, if we have this feature in place, then I believe we would have solved the person's problem. Let's see. So I'm going to rewrite this to make it clearer, but maybe my sentencing is bad. But for now, let's leave it like that in view of time. Then another thing, this is a requirement. Uh, Someone raised up their hand. Obi? Yeah,
Yeah, so if you'll have two options for the user to
yeah,
select from.
that's correct.
One,
That's
to
what me as
choose
the
the
business
liter
want,
ID or the mother's
and
tag
I'm
number.
also
That's it.
I'm. Remember, the business is the your bosses. The bosses now communicated it to the analysts, which I'm also playing. And in other cases, probably I would have explained. Obi would have been with me in a meeting. I'll tell Obi this is what I want, and then Obi as an analyst will explain it to the team. So this is what I want. And also sometimes while an analyst is explaining something, you might ask the analyst a question, and the analyst don't have the answer. Now, if the analyst does not have the answer, maybe the analyst did not think of that to ask the business. What happens most time is the analyst will say, okay, I'm going to go back to the business to ask. All right, so this is the new requirements that we got in. So I would like you guys then, since we all saw the issue, uh, that let's go back here. So one after the other, we're going to try to explain the bug. So what is the first bug? Let me pick someone. Sumbo, I've explained the bug, but I want you to tell me what to do here. So you as a tester tested, of course, and then you realize that this was empty. What would you do? Just you can dictate it to me. I will write it, or you can explain however you want. So what do you do first? Sumbo, can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Sorry, I
Sorry,
just
yeah. I
looked at
was
the
trying
time. The
to
time
put
is
my
actually fast spent, so I'm gonna give you guys
sorry,
use
can
this
you
as an
repeat what you said?
assignment for you guys. So what do I want you guys to do? So I want you guys to write a test case for the Faro registration. Faro test case. So I want you guys to write a test case for the Faro registration, which means that when this happens, when you register this Faro, what is the right thing that should happen? So already you see we have a bug here. So definitely in your test case, you want to make sure you test that all of this is filled in. So write a test case for the Faro registration process. Get it? So this is an extra task. So two things are going to happen here. You're going to write in your test case, don't forget your test case now would, since you guys also know this requirement, it should also be part of your test case. So you want to test this, you want to test all these other things that are in here. You want to test it that this page, when I click on register or submit, this right now this is edit. When I click on submit, it's working how it's supposed to work. So I hope you guys have already have enough information about how it's supposed to work because that's what this meeting is about. If you don't understand what's supposed to work when I click on the submit button, this is the time to ask. However, in the real world, even if you forgot to ask the right questions during the meetings, you can always go back to the analyst and say, okay, sorry, during the meeting I forgot or I didn't see this part, but what happens when this happens? What actually happens with this data? Blah 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 blah. You can always go to your analyst to have that checked. But in this meeting, it's very important that you ask as much questions as possible that you understand what the requirements are. So I hope you guys know what this page is expected to do. And if that's not the case, you want to ask your questions now or also later. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Um,
This
there's a
is a file
question I have.
registration
This page that
process or a
you're seeing
page.
on our screen now,
However,
this is
but you
the
do know that
file
the
registration
whole
page.
pregnancy is a process because you cannot get to the following page without going through the process. The following page is the last process that happens in the steps. So let's do this again. I'm going to delete this pregnancy. So we also have another issue. You see, probably when I deleted that, you see, I deleted the pregnancy, but you see, all the piglets were not deleted. They are just still here. So I deleted the delivery, and the piglets are still here. So that's a that's a separate bug. But I just because of time, I don't want to introduce you guys to that. This all needs to be fixed. However, I just deleted a pregnancy. So let's go back to the event, and I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to add, click on add new. I'm gonna select that SOR. I'm gonna say it was pregnant on the 6th. I'm gonna put just random data, and it's supposed to give birth to on November. I'm gonna give it the boy ID, doesn't matter, and then I'll click on submit. So you see that the first process is waiting for farrowing. So you don't even have the button here for farrowing because you're not on that step yet. It's a process because our system tries to make sure that certain things are sure before you start talking about giving birth. So have you confirmed it first? Okay, yes, I've confirmed it. Now you okay, confirm it. Okay, when did you confirm it? Oh yeah, I confirmed it on say
Yeah.
September 12th. And was the delivery successful? Or was the crossing, the meeting, was it successful? Yes, it was successful. Hard. Then we take you to the next phase. The next phase now is then this is the part where you now see the confirm your farrowing stage. So if you click on it, it still asks you, will anyone burn alive? Because if you say no, you don't even you get a different form. If you say no, that means the whole delivery failed. Then you want to give a reason why it failed. But if it passed, take a look. It gives you a whole different form. So okay, it passed. Then you have to fill all of this in. So you don't get this button first. You get it after you've gone through all the other processes first. Does that answer your question? Uh,
Yeah.
no, no.
So
I
this
want you
means
guys
that
to
we're
only
also testing
concentrate
like the
on this part.
pregnancy
Write a
monitor
test case for
stage
this form.
or
Don't write a
from the
test case for
meeting
this
to
form.
the
Don't write for the no. The no is going to be a separate test. This is not. I want you guys to just concentrate on this page. When you click
okay.
it, write a test to make sure that when we test this, everything should be working how it works. And that means that you need to already understand the requirement, what should actually happen. And if you don't understand what should happen, what is expected, this is the meeting to ask that question so that you can write a good test. No,
Okay. So I get it. I just want to be
no,
sure
no,
that we're not
we're not
testing
focusing on that yet
the pregnancy monitor stage, like the
for this
meeting,
process. We're not focusing on that.
the process before we get to the file. Okay, okay.
Put
All
in
right.
any number you want.
Okay.
It
Does that
can
also
it
mean you
can
can
also be
pick
part of your
how
test.
many
You want to
liters
test if
ourselves?
I
We
put
can
this
just
liter, if
put
I
in
put
any
this liter,
number we
is it
want.
working how it's supposed to work? If I put this stillborn and I put that stillborn, what is supposed to happen? If I put a cripple, if I put this, what is supposed to? You have to understand how the system works so that you can write better tests. Yeah. Brilliant
One more
question.
question.
So
Do we get
this is our, of course
a
our
user
live
login
server. So you see
for
this is
testing, or do
pickaxe.com.
we just create an account?
And yeah, we this is actually what is in production. But however, I do have a test account, a test server, and this is it. It's called test.pickaxe.com. And I would like you guys to let me see. It would be nice if you guys perform your tests here, but you don't have access to it. I think if you guys go on your computer now and you try to access it, you would not be able to, except maybe my wife, because my wife lives with me. So what I would like you guys to do is on the WhatsApp, go to this page and send me your IP addresses. So I'm going to say, how do you find your IP address? Just type in my IP address on Google, and you would see your IP address should show up here. See this? This is IPv4. So just highlight it and send it to me on WhatsApp, and I will give you access to the test environment because I only allow those certain people to have access to it, and you guys are part of my testers. That is one. For those that use mobile phones, it's possible that your IP address will change from time to time. So if you're having that issue, for those that are getting their internet through a mobile phone, so if that is the issue with yours, then you can just go ahead and create a normal account on the production website and use it for your test. But ideally, um, when you're working in a company, we don't test on production. You don't test on production at all. You test on a separate test account, sorry, several test software that is identical to what is in production. So this is in production, pickaxe.com, and this, what is in production, the way it works is exactly the way this test works. So if there's an issue, we first fix it on the test. We test it on the test. We make sure it's working on the test. If everything is working the way we want it, then we now say, okay, this thing has passed. Then we now move it. I now move the code from the test to the live server, which is production. So to get back to your question, Sumbo, Uh, Give me your IP addresses. Uh, I'm gonna put this on the chat as well, so that you have access to it. So test.pigax. This is, let me just comment it. Uh, you can run tests here. So this is where you can create an account, create a test account. But if you're on mobile phone switches IP addresses every now and then. So that means today you'll be able to log in, tomorrow you might not be able to log in. If you're having that issue, go ahead and test with your own account. Create an account on the production and use it to try it out for now. But the account itself, I'm not giving you a unique test account. You have to create one yourself. Use your own email address, create a farm, go ahead and do all of that. Add a piglet. Remember, you cannot you cannot uh, you cannot do a registered pregnancy if you don't add a pig. So you have to come here, add a pig. Um, See, just give it a random name, give it a random. It's very important that you make sure that the date of birth, the pig, make sure the pig is at least 6 months old. So just take it all the way to January or something, so that the pig is probably old enough to be pregnant. If you click on submit, it will also tell you the things you must fill in. So some of the things that you can leave empty, you leave them empty. The things you must fill in, like this one, the ones with asterisks, you see, you must fill them in. Sorry, and then just make sure you put the date. So date, this is dates. What dates did they come into the farm? You can put that like okay, October and all of that. So when you have a sow, make sure it's a female. If it's not a female, a male cannot get pregnant. So you see, if I make this a male, let me submit this. Or just for time's sake, if it's a male, you will never see it in the pregnancy monitor. A male does not appear under this list. It's only females that appear. All right. Any other question? Yeah.
Yep, I have a question. So
Yes.
based on the requirements, right now we don't have the those two
Yeah, yeah.
options
This
that
has
is
to be
on the
done before it has
requirements.
to start testing. But what I'm asking for this
So are we going
assignment
to
is
wait until this is done
prepare
before we
your
start
test
testing, or
cases. So this is, I'm not saying you should
okay?
test, prepare test cases. When it's now done, you can now test the software. So
Okay.
we are now on this phase. Look at where we are now. So we go back to our SDLC. So this is where we are. We are here, somewhere here. These two. So the design, yeah, we're talking about the design. I've showed you where I probably will put it in. The requirements, I've made it clear to the best I
Yeah.
can. And this is what I'm going to do later. While I'm doing this, you guys are busy writing your test cases. I'm planning for the test. And then when I'm done, you guys will now actually execute. See, you guys will now execute your test cases. You look for problems and you ensure that all the features are working exactly how they're supposed to work. Do you guys have any other question? Remember, if you, let's go back to the pregnancy
That's clear.
monitor. Let me see if I say confirm. So remember, you want to understand. I keep saying something over and over, so just I'm saying it intentionally. Remember, you have to understand how this form is supposed to work. What is this supposed to do? What is this supposed to do? What is how is this going to work? What does this first? Because you're not testing only the program. I want you to test this whole form, this form from here, from the moment you click on yes. This should work the way it's expected. So if you have any question, you ask. However, after this meeting, if something pops up into your when you're writing your test, you're like, oh shit, I don't really know what this is supposed to do. Shoot in the chat and I would answer it. Okay. So I'd like to stop here today. You guys have been awesome. I think this is going to be super interesting. This is me bringing you guys into the real world stuff and take it up as if you take it. But also remember, you're still learning. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like I said, questions. I remember, like for myself, especially coming up from my background, I even still struggle with it. Sometimes I shy away from asking questions because I'm like, oh, I don't want to look stupid. Uh-uh, don't try it. I'm telling you, If you do that, you're gonna be a horrible tester. Your sole objective is I want to understand what is this thing supposed to do. So I'm gonna talk to the analyst as much as possible. If something is not clear, I'm gonna ask. Even if I finish the meeting, I'm probably gonna go back to him and okay, this part, where is this, what is supposed to happen? As long as you do that, the moment you understand it, you'll be able to write tests that are better because now you know how the data is supposed to flow. You know that okay, if I put A here, I must see A there. If I put A here and I don't see A there, there's something wrong. Bug, register bug. So you see, because of you know that if A is being put here and you've understood it that if I put A here, A should appear there, and then you can write a test for that. But if you don't understand it, then you don't write a test for that, and then it goes to production, and then they're like, ah, you're not a good tester now. You didn't. Why didn't you know that A was supposed to appear there too? Because you put it here. But it just happened because you did not understand it and you were afraid or shy to ask. So don't do that. Yep. And as more and more you keep interacting with softwares, the faster it will be for you to understand some of these things. And sometimes you just understand in one go, and sometimes also your questions will help the analyst to think even more. So thank you guys for today. I'm really looking forward to what you guys will produce. This is a real world stuff. Like you said, I'm going to go back into my coding. I'm going to program all of these things we talked about. I'm going to launch it into the test environment. Then you guys will have to test it and give feedback. Give me a report. Give me a test report. Like, okay, I tested this test case is good. If the report is good, we'll put it to production. But this is, I'm also going to mention something else. Because of this is a real issue, I will solve it already this weekend and put it in production. Because by Monday, I want this user to already be using the fixed situation. However, I'm still going to leave the issue open in the test environment. That's why I want you guys to give me your IP addresses so that I can give you guys access to the test environment so that you can test there. Um, yeah, so you might be on the website, on the Pickaxe website on Monday, and you don't see the problem anymore and it's solved. So that's why you have to go to the test environment because what should happen is when I've solved it, first of all, you want to go and test if the issue is there. That's what you should do as a tester. Okay, somebody reports an issue. You go there and you do it yourself. Like, oh yeah, I did it. They call it reproducing the error. Yes, I did what the guy did, and it's true. He's right. The thing is not working the way it's supposed to work. Then the developer now says, I have fixed it. Then you go back and say, oh, the developer have deployed the fix to the test environment. Then you go again and you now follow your test cases. You're like, oh yeah, now it's working. Then you give a test report and be like, yep, it's working. Now it can go to production. So that's how it's going. We're gonna do this. All right. Any other questions? All right. So I wish you guys a very lovely weekend and thank you for participating. Bye, guys.